Hello everybody, this is Mr. Mga again. Uh, Excuse me. This is Mr. Mga, and in this lesson I'm going to walk you through the traffic light system programming in Arduino. The central idea of this programming is to walk you through, and so far if you've seen, we've actually been dealing with a single LED connected to a particular port of the microcontroller. And I want to mention here that most of the code that you see me write, or the code that has been written, is the code that most of you pretty much already know. Okay, so no big deal about it. So you won't see me do things on the writing part to try and explain the new concept, but I just want to show you that it's actually viable to connect different LEDs to different ports of the Arduino board and try to see if we can generate some sort of traffic light system. So real quickly, let me go into the program. Now, of course, there's an introduction to the problem, and then circuit setup, reading code, and then the results. So what are the first things? So we're going now to create a set of traffic light that will change from green to red, then to red via amber, and back again after a set of length of time using the 4-state system. All right, so we basically have that. So we could have the red, and then from red we could go to amber, then to green, green, and then to amber, and then back. I think here in the code I'm not really depicting this so much, I've just seen it right here, but let me just show you how this whole problem works. So the one I've done for you is that we have red, and then amber, then green, then it went directly to red. So there's a bit of some mix-up, but you could actually yourselves, if you have to, you could also make it go through amber then back to red. Okay, so let's just go through the circuit setup. So this is the circuit setup of the traffic light system that we have. So we have the red, and I picked for the amber, I picked yellow, and then there's actually the green as well. And you can see in this circuit setup I'm using pin 7, then pin 6, and then pin 7, 6, 7, 6, and then I'm also using pin 5. Okay, now so we have 7, 6, and 5 as the pins that actually under discussion. So we have 7, 6, and 5 under discussion. And so the next thing that we're gonna do now, we're gonna look at the written code. Now, so what is in this written code? So the written code composes of the so I've called Untitled red. Now this is where we've connected, as you can see on the board, we've connected the red LED, we've connected pin 7. So we call pin 7 as LED red, so to make things more descriptive, right? And then the amber is connected to 6, and the green is connected to 5. So we call this, we instantiate variables, and then we assign them the pins to which we are connecting the LEDs. Right, so that it's very easy, the program becomes more descriptive, and it's very easy to follow it up. And then we've also declared a delay for 10 seconds, and that is the integer type, and this delay for 10 seconds that is 10,000. So this is not 10 seconds, yeah, this is 10 seconds actually. So the delay for 10 seconds is about 10,000 milliseconds. And we've also declared a delay for 2 seconds, and this is actually 2000 milliseconds. Now in the void setup, what we've done, now I want to mention that every time you declare variables outside the scope of the setup and the void loop, you are giving them a global perspective. Now, what is a global perspective? Well, a global perspective actually means that these variables that you have declared and assigned them values can be seen by all the subsequent written code. Wherever you're going to write the code, they're going to have a global perspective that can be seen and they can be acted upon. All right, and I'll show you how a local perspective looks like, where we declare a variable within a particular set of instruction, and it's only seen by that instruction and it's not seen by any other code. Right now, of course, what we've done is that we say pin mode lead rate. So this lead rate is configured as an output port, and all of them, they're actually configured, all of these pins are configured as output ports. Now if you go back, you can see for sure this is 7, 6 and 5, and they are all configured as output ports. Now, so what we are really saying is that we have the lead rate as an output, then we have lead amber as the output, and then we have also the lead green as an output port. Now what we need to do now is to try to see if we can go to the void loop, and then we also close the loop here. So what is it that we want to do? So since these ports are being configured as output ports, then now we can say that we can start by doing a digital write lead rate. So this is the pin 7 as high, where the rate, the LED for the rate is high. So we're switching on the LED, make sure others are off. So if the LED is high, the LED for rate is high, we can make sure that this is the LED green is low and the LED amber is low, is off, they are off, and then the high and these two low can only be off and should stay off for 10 seconds. So once we switch this guy on, we call a 10-second delay, which is what we've given the name here. We call a 10-second delay, and this 10-second delay, and then afterwards, after 10 seconds, we switch on the yellow, which is the amber, and then we say that this yellow will actually, now when the amber is actually high after 10 seconds, we need to make sure that the LED which we had switched on is now off. All right, because now when you switch on, when you delay for 10 seconds, so when the digital, so the program, the way it runs, it to run this, it switches on, and then it comes here, it switches off these two, and then after 10 seconds it goes to perform that 10-second delay, and then after 10 seconds it switches on the amber, but it makes sure that the LED row, the LED for which to which the LED is connected is actually low, right? So make sure that this is low, so it's actually low, and then this is high, this is low, and then now what happens is that for about, so this one will be high and this one will be low, and then we call a 2-second delay. So meaning that this 2-second delay, after 2 seconds, these two actions here will change, right? And what are we going to have? So we're going to have the digital write lead green high. So the green will be high here, right? The green is going to be high, and once the green is high, we're going to make sure that when the green is high, we'll make sure that the lead, when the green is high, we'll have to make sure that both the lead amber is low and the digital red low, this one is also low. Okay, these two is low, and then again we delay for 10 seconds. All right, now this is where I said that there was some code that was left out, but just to explain the way this code really is that this one, so there was a high, we after 2 seconds we switch on the green, and then afterwards we make sure that these two are off, and then when we delay for 10 seconds, in here we are actually, according to this code, we are looping back to after 10 seconds we're going back to switch the the LED red, okay, the light emitting diode for red. Okay, but essentially what should happen is that you could say that, okay, so the digital LED amber, the digital green is high, and then you want to keep these two off. But to transition from the LED green high to load, you might as well um, you might as well um, call for another delay. So of course this is a delay for 10 seconds. You could maybe switch on the LED amber after 10 seconds, and then after 2 seconds you wait, and then you switch on the LED red high. I don't know if you pick it, guys. So what I'm saying here is that because to transition from LED green to maybe red, to transition from green to red, you'd want to have that transition from amber then to red. So here we're just transitioning directly from green to red after 10 seconds. But of course, if you want, you can modify this code where it's green, okay, and you delay for 10 seconds. So you call for a LED amber high, and then you delay for 2 seconds before you transition to red. But as far as the code is concerned, it's really working, all right. And this is exactly how you want to capture your code and then get to the bottom of it. Now here is the results. Okay, so we have a situation now where the red is actually high, the one we connected to pin 7. You can see it is actually being switched on, and then after some 2 seconds delay, we have the yellow or the amber, so to speak. And then after 2 seconds, so after some 2 seconds, after 10 seconds, right, we have this, and then immediately after 2 seconds, so after 10 seconds we have this, and then immediately after 2 seconds we should have the green actually come on. Right, so now this is exactly how this traffic light system works. But I just wanted to also walk out of this program and just show you exactly how it is really appearing in Proteus. Okay, so basically this is what we have. This is the setup, and I've already loaded the hex file into it so that you know all of this, how to do that. And so real quickly, I just want to run the simulation. So if you can see here, you can see for yourselves that the red is actually on, and it's gonna stay for about 10 seconds. Now after 10 seconds it will change to the amber, and then after 2 seconds it's going to change to the green, and then after 10 seconds it will come back to the red. Okay, so basically this is exactly how this program works, guys, but let's just wait and see what's going to happen. Fair enough, so it stayed for about 10 seconds, and then we'll wait for about 2 seconds. Where there it is, and it transitions to green, and then we wait for about 10 seconds. It goes back to red, but then we wanted to wait for 10 seconds, go back to amber, and then to red. But right now you can modify that yourselves. Okay. Oh yeah, there it is. It has changed after 10 seconds. It has gone back to red. Now guys, I'd like to thank you for viewing, and now you can see that in this lesson we're just trying to show you that you could actually connect multiple LEDs, and then you can work with them in this manner. But I want to also, if I come back to this, I want to mention that most of these codes that you see right here, there is no any new concept here. We all know all of this, the delay, the digital, right, the delay function. So but then we're introducing multiple LEDs to carry out. So there's not any new code here to explain. That's why you didn't see me put on the writing pad to try to explain. But that's just to show you how things can possibly be done, and the traffic light system, simple traffic light system, can actually be done. We'd like to thank you for viewing.